The news is in for the Chicago Bulls as they have gone ahead and officially signed EJ Liddel to a two-way contract. We're going to be talking about what this means for the Chicago Bulls. This is your host, Rico Greenhowe. You found yourself on another episode of Bulls Digest. And so today the Chicago Bulls are getting ready to go into their final preseason game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll be doing a post game for that. But more importantly, we are going into the breaking news which just occurred about an hour ago, and that is that EJ Liddel is officially with the Chicago Bulls on a two-way contract here. And so, I thought that this was very interesting, and I think that this maybe tells us a little bit more as to what the Chicago Bulls are going to do as far as how they're going to build out this team. Because, between EJ Liddel and Kenny Lofton Jr., two players that we were wondering, are they going to be on the two-way contract? And it looks like EJ Liddel is the one who secured that two-way contract. When you look at the game that they did play in out in Milwaukee, it was pretty similar. And in a lot of ways, you might say that perhaps Kenny Lofton Jr. might have maybe outplayed EJ Liddel, because when you look at the statistics, right, in that particular game, EJ Liddel had 6 points. He had 6 rebounds. He was +2 in the box score. He also had an assist and a block in 22 minutes. He was 1 of 4. But on the flip side of this, Kenny Lofton Jr., he had 7 points. He had 8 rebounds. He had 2 assists. He did have 2 turnovers in this, but he was +6 and he only played 15 minutes and he was 1 of 3. And so, if you look at that, he didn't even play as many minutes. He had a better plus minus in the box score. Both players, I think, are players we did not get a chance to really see as much. And I'm hoping that we get a chance to at least see a little bit more of EJ Liddel. And I think when you see this two-way signing, what this just signifies to me is that the Chicago Bulls have been seeing some really good things from EJ Liddel in practice. I think that they have seen some great stuff that we probably are not seeing in games. And in the limited time that he did play, he still played well because he is a plus in the box score, that's always a great thing if you are on the plus side of the plus minus in the box score. And I just think with EJ Liddel, much like Adama Sanogo, these are players that we need to see them play in actual games, because when you look at the G League stats for EJ Liddel, it's pretty good. I mean, he's had 17 points. He had 17 points and 7 rebounds in G League play. And this is a player like Sanogo where I think that they are just above playing in the G League. Like, I think that they don't have anything else that they can show us there. It is now time to see how they actually fit in when it comes to playing in NBA games. And I think the only way that these players are going to get this experience is you've got to put them out there on the big club. You got to let them play against some talent out there. And I love the fact that he did get a chance to play against the Milwaukee Bucks, who went with their A squad here, because they did have Giannis out there. They had Bobby Portis. They had Lopez out there, and they played for a long time. In fact, in the pictures in the intro, you see that EJ Liddel is going against Giannis there. And so that is what we wanted to see. And Sanogo, he got a double-double in that game, right? And so we get a chance to see that that is probably going to translate if you give these players opportunities. And so that would be my biggest takeaway with this signing, is that they see something with EJ Liddel. And I think that when you look at his player comparison coming out, EJ Liddel, 6'7", has a 6'11" wingspan. The one thing that is a calling card for him is defense. I mean, he is terrific at getting blocked shots, and listening to him talk about a defensive series and breaking it down, like, he reminds me a lot of what Draymond Green was in his first 2 seasons with Golden State before he started to really take off as an offensive player and be able to knock down the three-point shot, be able to understand cutting and just how to get himself free, but really be a great passer as well. And that's one thing that I think that he has shown at Ohio State. He really operates well out of the post. And I think what really put him out there in the NBA draft, which I think he came out in the same draft class as Dalen Terry, was his ability to be a pick and pop player. And so I think that if he can stay healthy, because he's been through some injuries and things like that, but if he can stay healthy and he can continue to get better in that pick and pop, and that defense seems to translate, you already hear what he can do on the rebounding end, and he is getting block shots. So I think that that does translate, but you just have to give him some minutes. You have to give him some experience in there. And so that's what I'm really thinking with EJ Liddel. So I think it is a pretty good signing, considering that it is a two-way deal. We have the option to go ahead and bring him up, see if, in fact, he's going to work out, for the Chicago Bulls. But in the meantime, expect to see him a lot with the Windy City Bulls. And so, that leaves us really to, I think, the last question with this roster as we get ready to go into this season finale. And that is just that last roster spot, which I think a lot of us are anticipating that it is probably going to go to THT. I think that THT has definitely played well. It's not official or anything like that, and it wouldn't surprise me if we get some news on him shortly, but he's played phenomenal. He's played like he's really wanted it. And at this point in time, we could not give THT a two-way deal. He's played 5 years in the NBA. At this point, he's going to have to either play on a standard deal or he'd have to play somewhere else. But I think that, he's definitely going to fit what the Chicago Bulls want to do. I talked about it earlier today that, he just has, the ability to just defend multiple positions. I love the fact that he is just a player that bullies his way in to get to the basket. He finds a way to get to the basket. And I like his ability now and his confidence in this offense to shoot the three ball. I think that maybe that's what THT really needed. And I think that the Chicago Bulls can really benefit, because here's a player that, when he left the Lakers, I really thought that he was going to take off with the Utah Jazz, and it didn't happen. And I think that with the Chicago Bulls, this is a perfect situation with him, because, the Bulls are trying to figure out what they're trying to do. They need a player that is going to come in, set a tone, and be an impact on both ends of the floor. And I think that THT is absolutely going to do that. So again, I'm looking forward to seeing him in this game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I'm looking forward to see how Billy Donovan is going to mix him in with some of these players, because I would like to see him out there, with Lavine, with Kobe White, if they are going to play. I want to see what it's going to look like if you were to put him out there with some of the starters that may be out there for the Chicago Bulls, and see how he blends in with them. So with that being said, let me know what you're thinking about in the comments here. Are you okay with the fact that we have gone out and given this two-way deal to EJ Liddel? Do you feel like maybe, hey, it should have been Kenny Lofton Jr.? Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. And do you feel like, yes, it is going to be THT who is going to get this final roster spot? Let me know. Before we jump out of here, I just want to thank everybody for liking, subscribing to Bulls Digest. It means a lot to us here as we try to reach 5,000 subscribers before the NBA season starts. Want to let you know that about 64.2% of you that watch the videos are not subscribed, so make sure that you continue to slam dunk on that subscribe button for us, as it means a lot. Look, even though we are still making signings before our final preseason game and we have no clue what we're going to do with this roster, I'm still saying go Bulls, and I'll see you guys on the post game tonight. All right, peace.